Greetings and welcome, brave citizens of our new world. I'm Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terawatt. This is our layer 3.0, and today is day 27 of our V.E.D.A challenge. V.E.D.A vlogging every day in April. So, because we did our no spoiler review yesterday, a lot of people expressed an interest in doing a spoilers review, which I agreed with Clay that I'm going to do this on the last day of V.E.D.A, on the 30th. The 30th we're going to be talking about just my progress in terms of my health and fitness on one half of it, and then the other half, my friend Michelle Flanagan's going to be joining me, and we're gonna talk like a spoilery review about just the movie in general. But today we're talking about something considerably more serious, and that is the end of the Korean War. So some quick background, a little catch up for folks that may not be in the know. The Korean War started in 1950 and sort of ended in 1953 with an armistice. There was a large demilitarized zone that was created along the entire border of North and South Korea that's about 4 kilometers wide, and North and South Korea are technically still at war because the Korean War ended in a truce, not a peace treaty. The United States still stations about 30,000 troops in South Korea as a legacy of the Cold War conflict, which pitted the South, the United States, and the United Nations forces against the Communist North, backed by China and Russia. And just months ago, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and Kim Jong-un were trading threats and insults as the North made rapid advances in pursuit of nuclear-armed missiles capable of hitting the United States. And there's widespread skepticism about whether or not Kim Jong-un is ready to abandon the nuclear arsenal his country has defended and developed for decades as what it says is a necessary deterrent against the United States invasion. But today, Mr. Kim and President Moon met at the border and shook hands as Kim stepped over into South Korea. President Moon said, "Well, you've crossed into the South, but when do I get to go across?" Footage of the meeting showed his hesitant reaction to the question as the North Korean leader just said, "Well, why don't we go across now?" So hand in hand, they just stepped over the border into North Korea and were like, "Hey," and then stepped back over into the South shortly after 9:30 a.m. local time, continuing on to sign their peace treaty. It was actually kind of cute. The two were handed flowers by 2 South Korean children, residents of a village situated in the demilitarized zone, and met on a red carpet by a South Korean honor guard in historical costumes playing traditional music. The 3-page peace declaration states that South and North Korea confirmed the common goal of realizing, through a complete denuclearization, a nuclear-free Korean peninsula. The signing ceremony came at the end of an extraordinary day, full of words and gestures that would have been unimaginable at the turn of the year, after a 2017 in which Kim had demonstrated surprising advances in both missile and nuclear technology and was regularly threatening to use them against the United States. And Trump, for his part, was returning the verbal volleys, calling Kim a little rocket man and threatening to totally destroy North Korea. But following a sudden frenzy of diplomacy pegged to the Winter Olympics that South Korea hosted in February, President Moon has managed to shift Kim's focus from missile launches to the negotiating table. Moon and Kim proceeded to spend hours together on Friday, both in formal talks and in a half-hour-long private discussion on the park benches outside in the sun, surrounded by birdsong, and they threw soil and water from both Koreas onto a pine tree planted in the demilitarized zone to mark the occasion, so it's like a peace tree. At one stage during the day, Kim assured Moon that he wouldn't have to wake up early anymore, a reference to the fact that North Korea's missile launches usually happened at about dawn, and he even made reference to the fact that North Koreans have escaped to the South, and that the North's infrastructure network is far inferior to the South's, which is astounding for a leader of a country that has sold itself as the superior Korea. Now this worries me because the United States, South Korea's security ally, regularly sends nuclear-capable aircraft and ships to the South during military exercises, so this clause will raise suspicions that North Korea is calling for a significant change in the U.S.-South Korean alliance. Now, President Moon has previously said that Kim would not insist on American troops being withdrawn from the South, but what about their nuclear weapons? I mean, largely these weapons were kept in South Korea as also a deterrent from China and Russia causing any trouble, because if either of them started to cause a ruckus, America could just hit them from South Korea. It was a strategic point for their weapons. Now that they're not there anymore, like, I want to believe that this is just two leaders talking peace and bringing an end to what is in effect a meaningless conflict. I want to believe that it's just people talking peace, people being nice, and everybody getting along and finally realizing that what they're doing is ridiculous. But Kim Jong-un isn't a man that I would describe as kind or generous or peaceful. So I can't help but have this feeling that there's some other modus operandi here, that the reason why North Korea is calling for an end to the war and a complete denuclearization of both of their countries is because they want to remove the United States' strength from South Korea, just take that foothold away from them. And I mean, North Korea is not worried so much about being denuclearized itself, considering it was barely capable of producing missiles that could reach the United States from them if they fired them. And when they have allies like Russia and China backing them up, then whatever weapons that they could produce are practically negligible anyway. So they don't necessarily lose anything by saying that they're going to dismantle and get rid of all of their nuke stuff and all of their missiles, as long as the South does the same. But an end to a war is an end to a war. And I'm hoping that that's what it is, and that's all it ends up being, and that everybody goes home happy, and people can just stop. Any end to a suffering that I don't have to force is good news to me. And you know what? I want to know your thoughts as well on this particular issue. Like, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Just let me know what you think. And until next time, my brave citizens, I'm Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Terawatt. This is our Layer 3.0, and I will see you again tomorrow on our next episode of V.E.D.A. End of line.